This is the story of Ian Chris Serdoncillo, or Ian to most, and Kyla Megan Francillo, or Kyla to most. But for today, they are known as the Cillos, the two best friends who believed they were strictly platonic until they got introduced to barefoot Sauvignon Blanc. But I'm going ahead of the story. Let's start from the beginning. On December 14th, 1996, a baby boy was born, and he was named Ian Chris. Ian, because his mama Tessie wanted a name that would be easy to recall come election time. And Chris, from her father's name, Crescencio. On January 31st, 1998, a baby girl was born. She was almost named Placida, after her tatai, but her nana wanted her to grow up normal, so she named her Kyla Megan. Kyla meant beautiful, and Megan came from the name Margrethe, which means pearl, Dindo and Tessa's beautiful pearl. Ian is the youngest of Tessie and Jerry, was also a student athlete like his brothers, a member of the Palarong Pambansa team in football, a student leader, an achiever in school, both in Stefti and LaSalle. Kyla is an only child, but contrary to what people think, she was far from spoiled, thanks to her dragon Nenai, who made sure she did household chores and got perfect scores in exams before earning her favorite Barbie. While Kyla was an only child, she grew up with her cousins, Wyner, Basti, Ethan and Gilo, in Mommy Dylan and Daddy Vic's house. By grade 1, Ian transferred to Stefti after studying in Morningside, Barawan. Kyla returned to Stefti after studying in the University of San Carlos in Cebu until first-year high school. Chapter 2, Best Friends. But it is only Kyla who considers them best friends. Ian doesn't believe they were only best friends. He always felt they were something more. They graduated high school in Stefti and went on to college. She went to Ateneo, he went to LaSalle. They lived their own lives. After all, their schools were rivals. But on the 24th of February, 2017, she received a message. She was indeed invited, so they met. And they've been talking to each other every day, even after they graduated. Chapter 3, The Romance. Kyla left BGC to work for her parents' company. She felt like she was still finding her bearing. So of course, she messaged Ian for advice, still as a best friend, until he stopped responding. She was so confused, but she still went on with her life until she gets a call from Kuya Zaldi on June 22nd, 2020. Ian,
Kuya Salds, kaya mo yung invite?
Kyla.
Okay, see you.
They met for lunch for the first time in months, and during the pandemic nonetheless. They spent time from lunch until wee hours in the morning, a reunion, or so they called it. They were laughing, catching up, sharing stories, and drinking the main star of this story, barefoot Sauvignon Blanc. With a little too much alcohol and a lot of unspoken tension, the truth finally slipped out. Real, secret, and deeply buried feelings surfaced, louder than anyone expected. It became clear they were never just platonic, and from that moment on, they stopped pretending and started dating. And on February 15th, 2021, 8 months after dating, they became official. Traveling wasn't just an adventure, it was how their bond deepened, one destination at a time. Singapore, Bangkok, Cebu, Niseko, Tokyo, more than once. Palawan, Osaka, Kyoto, Hong Kong, Macau, Pattaya, and Sapporo. Ian and Kyla learned more about the world and even more about each other. But after 4 years, their relationship said, ciao. Chapter 4, The Breakup. He focused on himself, she focused on herself. For 3 whole weeks, until one fine 1st of July afternoon, 2 bouquets were delivered to her office. And the next day, a surprise visit to her office. A few days after, a spontaneous trip to Manila, a memorable trip to Cebu, a happy trip to Ormoc, and a visit to the new Pilates and Dynacafe studio, where they finally got back together. And a few weeks after that, we enter Chapter 5, the engagement. She and her family were invited to dinner at the Cillos farmhouse. He planned the dinner and a little more than that. He waited with a beautiful ring in one hand, nervousness on the other, and a breathtaking backdrop lovingly by Jonah, Lara, Wills, Doreen, Taysa, and Tessie, framed with the words, "Marry me." She walked toward him, each step slower than the last, her eyes meeting his. Overwhelmed with everything, he stood waiting, his smile trembling with love and hope. And in front of their close friends and family, she said yes. Yes to a lifetime of love, laughter, and building a forever together. More than just a proposal, that night was the moment two best friends finally admitted what everyone else had seen all along. And today, we stand here, not just celebrating their wedding, but one of the rarest kinds of amore. One that began in friendship, grew in trust, and chose, at last, to spend forever as one.